1. WBA champ Ramirez defends Jake Paul's top 15 ranking under review. 2. Roy Jones Jr. breaks down Jake Paul's world title chances. Expert boxing analysis. 3. Jake Paul's world title dream, is he ready? Best opponent revealed. 4. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. detained by ICE, shocking deportation after Jake Paul fight. 1. WBA champ Ramirez defends Jake Paul's top 15 ranking under review. In the world of boxing, few figures spark as much debate as Jake Paul, and his recent top 15 ranking has stirred the pot even further. Surprisingly, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, the reigning WBA cruiserweight champion, has come to Paul's defense, even as the boxer's ranking is currently under scrutiny. Last month, Jake Paul achieved a significant milestone by defeating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a unanimous decision, extending his winning streak. This victory marked a pivotal moment in his career, as it propelled him into the cruiserweight rankings for the very first time, landing him at the number 14 spot. However, this ranking has not come without controversy. Following the announcement, several contenders voiced their discontent to the WBA, leading the organization to place Paul's ranking under review. The outcome of this review remains uncertain, leaving fans and critics alike on edge about whether Paul will maintain his position or see it revoked. Throughout his boxing journey, Paul has faced considerable backlash, with many seasoned boxers questioning his legitimacy in the sport. Most recently, interim WBC title holder Virgil Ortiz Jr. expressed his disapproval of Paul's rise in the rankings. Yet, in a surprising twist, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez has stepped up to defend Paul's achievements. After Paul's victory over Chavez, the two had a brief encounter where Paul referred to Ramirez as easy work and too slow, clearly trying to provoke a matchup with the champion. Despite this banter, Ramirez offered a refreshing perspective on Paul's ranking, which stands in stark contrast to the opinions of many other fighters in the division. In a recent interview with TMZ Sports, Ramirez was asked about the backlash against Paul's top 15 ranking. He responded thoughtfully, stating, "He made a statement, beat one of the former champions from Mexico. It was a great performance for what he did, and I give credit to Jake Paul because at the end of the day, he fought a world champion. He's doing good in this sport. Everyone knows it won't be a fair fight because I'm a champion, world-class champion, number 1 ranking." Ramirez emphasized that he aims to unify the undisputed title, showcasing his ambition in the sport. On the same night that Paul triumphed over Chavez, Ramirez successfully defended his WBA and WBO cruiserweight titles against Uniel Dorticos, winning by unanimous decision. Since suffering his first career loss to Dmitry Bivol in November 2022, Ramirez has bounced back with 4 consecutive victories, solidifying his status as a top contender. As discussions continue regarding Paul's standing in the cruiserweight division, it appears that he may soon make his return to the ring. Paul's manager, Nikisa Bidarian, has indicated that they are targeting a comeback in either November or December, with an opponent yet to be determined. Depending on the outcome of the review of Paul's ranking, it's possible that Ramirez could be his next challenger, as Paul has expressed a strong desire to become a world champion before retiring. This situation is evolving, and we will keep you updated as new information emerges. What do you think about Jake Paul's ranking? Is he deserving of a top 15 spot, or is this just another example of celebrity influence in sports? Share your thoughts in the comments. 2. Roy Jones Jr. breaks down Jake Paul's world title chances. Expert boxing analysis. When Jake Paul first announced his intentions to become a professional boxer, skepticism was rampant. Yet, the World Boxing Association, WBA, surprisingly took him seriously, granting him a spot in their top 15 cruiserweight rankings. This move, while still placing him at number 14, opened up the possibility of a world title fight. But can Jake Paul truly challenge for the championship, or is he just basking in premature glory? Paul, with a record of 12 wins and 1 win by knockout, has indeed faced a variety of opponents, including former NBA players and boxers past their prime. His recent victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and playful taunts directed at the current WBA and WBO champion, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, have only fueled speculation about a potential showdown. However, Roy Jones Jr., a legendary boxing figure and multiple-time world champion, is skeptical about Paul's ability to claim the title. According to Jones, who has experienced the highs and lows of professional boxing firsthand, facing tougher, more experienced opponents is crucial for any aspiring champion. In his opinion, Paul's carefully curated opponent list suggests he hasn't yet faced the stiff competition necessary to test his mettle. If they force him to fight against experienced opponents, Jones explained, I believe those fighters will ultimately defeat him. This perspective is shared by many in the boxing community, who eagerly await a more challenging opponent for Paul to showcase his skills. While Jones acknowledges the bravery required to step into the ring, he questions the strategic choices Paul has made in his career so far. It's a point worth considering. Does Paul's selection of less formidable opponents indicate a lack of readiness for the highest level of competition? This debate highlights a critical aspect of boxing, the importance of facing tough opponents early in one's career. Without these tests, fighters may find themselves unprepared when faced with the world's best. And as Paul continues his journey toward a world title, this question will undoubtedly remain at the forefront of discussions within the boxing world. So, what do you think? Is Jake Paul ready for the ultimate challenge, or does he need more experience under his belt? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 3. Jake Paul's world title dream, is he ready? Best opponent revealed. Jake Paul's recent victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has reignited debates about his readiness for a world title shot. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite his win, many question whether Paul is truly prepared to face the elite fighters in the cruiserweight division. Let's dive into the details and explore what lies ahead for the former YouTuber-turned-boxer. Jake Paul, now 28, has made it clear his ultimate goal is to claim a world championship belt. His unanimous decision win over Chavez Jr., a former WBC middleweight champion, marked his biggest career triumph to date. However, this victory comes with caveats. Paul's professional journey has been anything but conventional. With only one amateur fight under his belt and a career spanning just 13 bouts, his experience pales in comparison to the titans of boxing. Moreover, his opponents have ranged from MMA veterans to retired NBA stars, including the legendary Mike Tyson. While Chavez Jr. is a seasoned fighter, he's far from his prime, raising questions about the true measure of Paul's growth. So, what's next for Jake Paul? If he aims to challenge for a cruiserweight title, 3 names stand out: WBC champion Badou Jack, WBA, WBO titleist Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, and IBF champion Jay Oppertaya. Each presents a unique set of challenges and opportunities. Let's break them down. Badou Jack ***. The WBC title holder, Jack, has held his belt since 2023 but has only defended it once. At 41, he's a veteran with a dangerous skill set, but his age might work in Paul's favor. While Jack's experience is undeniable, Paul's reach advantage and improving adaptability could make this a viable path. However, this would be a massive leap for Paul, requiring him to elevate his game significantly. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez Ramirez, 34, recently defeated former champion Uniel Dorticos in a hard-fought decision. Though his performance wasn't stellar, his technical prowess and ability to neutralize opponents with his guard make him a formidable threat. The WBA has hinted at ranking Paul, which could open the door for a clash with Ramirez. Yet, Ramirez seems more focused on unifying titles with Oppertaya, despite a post-fight stare-down with Paul. If the WBA surprises everyone with a matchup, Paul would be the underdog, but not necessarily an impossible one. Jay Oppertaya ***. At 29, Oppertaya is the undisputed class of the cruiserweight division. His combination of speed, power, and prime physicality makes him a nightmare matchup for Paul. Unfortunately, the IBF has shown no interest in ranking Paul, making this fight the least likely scenario. Oppertaya's lack of popularity in the US also complicates matters for Paul, who might prioritize risk-reward calculations over pure competition. Most likely next opponent, Tommy Fury ***. A rematch with Tommy Fury, though not for a title, could be Paul's most realistic next step. Since their 2023 split decision loss, Paul has evolved significantly, and Fury's options are dwindling. This fight would carry immense narrative weight, offering Paul a chance to reclaim his confidence. However, Fury's team has reportedly demanded a high price, complicating negotiations. If they can agree, this bout could serve as a crucial stepping stone. And this is the part most people miss: the debate isn't just about Paul's readiness, it's about the legitimacy of his path. Should a fighter with Paul's background and opponent history be given a shot at world title contention? Or does the boxing world owe it to fans to ensure only the most prepared athletes compete for the biggest prizes? What do you think? Should Jake Paul take on a world champion next, or is a rematch with Tommy Fury the smarter move? Share your thoughts below. 4. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. detained by ICE, shocking deportation after Jake Paul fight. ****. In a shocking turn of events, renowned Mexican boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. faces deportation just days after an intense match against social media sensation Jake Paul. ****. This incident is not just another celebrity headline, it raises significant questions about the intersection of sports, immigration policies, and alleged criminal ties. According to a statement from the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, Chavez Jr. was detained by ICE agents on Wednesday and is scheduled to be deported from the United States. His arrest follows allegations of connections to drug cartels and other serious infractions, which have drawn national attention due to the boxer's high-profile status. This unfolding drama has captured the interest of fans and legal experts alike. Chavez Jr., whose father is the legendary boxer Julio Cesar Chavez, initially entered the United States on a tourist visa in August 2023. However, that visa expired in February 2024. DHS officials allege that upon applying for permanent residency in April 2024, Chavez Jr. made false statements. Furthermore, they indicated that there is an active arrest warrant for him in Mexico connected to serious accusations of involvement in organized crime and the trafficking of weapons, ammunition, and explosives. Despite these allegations, Chavez Jr.'s attorney has dismissed the claims, labeling them as outrageous and characterizing them as attempts to instill fear in the community. This raises a critical issue: how reliable are accusations made against high-profile individuals, and what should be the burden of proof in such public cases? Interestingly, the boxer applied for permanent residency based on his marriage to a U.S. citizen, who officials suggest has links to the infamous Sinaloa drug cartel through a past relationship with El Chapo's deceased son. It is a highly controversial claim that complicates the narrative surrounding his immigration status and adds layers to public perception. Following his reentry into the country on January 4, the government determined on June 27 that he was residing in the U.S. illegally. The next day, he faced Jake Paul in a boxing match in Anaheim, where he was ultimately defeated in a unanimous decision, his second fight in 4 years, adding a bittersweet note to an already tumultuous month. In stark comments, Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin remarked about the gravity of Chavez Jr.'s situation, pointing out the previous administration's failure to act on his alleged criminal connections even while designating him as a public safety threat. She emphasized a clear message to those affiliated with cartels, declaring that no one, not even famous athletes, is above the law. This scenario has emerged alongside a broader narrative where the current administration prioritizes the deportation of undocumented immigrants, including both criminals and those with non-violent offenses. This sweeping approach has sparked significant unrest in areas like Los Angeles, where ICE actions have been met with public protests and pushback from local communities. As the story of Chavez Jr. unfolds, it invites a crucial discussion: are allegations too easily conflated with guilt in the court of public opinion, especially for athletes who live under the spotlight? What are your thoughts on the balance between enforcing immigration laws and ensuring fair treatment for individuals facing such serious claims? We would love to hear your opinions. Do you think Chavez Jr. deserves a fair chance, or is the evidence against him too compelling to ignore?